Going, and gone to you, sir, and congratulations, well done.
Welcome to the Urban Rural Auctioneers monthly update. Every month we hope to bring you some relevant information that will help you throughout the auction process, just by giving you an insight into our business and our activity and how things have been going out there in the marketplace and at the coalface. August is an exciting time of year as many agents are clearing the decks in preparation for springtime releases. It's a great time to reflect upon the results that have been achieved and also to project for ourselves the successes we'd like to have throughout spring and the warmer selling months. So just to reflect upon a couple of those results that have come to bear this month, the property that's currently on screen is 39 Boulder Road, 2 Wells. This was an interesting property. In all, 5 acres, highly developable, as a matter of fact subdividable into 14 allotments while still retaining the current dwelling. This one, unfortunately, on the day of auction, didn't have a great response. As a matter of fact, there were no registered bidders on the day, but it's settling this month, and I guess a testament to the auction process that we were able to get the vendor to market more quickly. Lot 39, Boulder Road, 2 Wells, result achieved, settling this week before the end of August for $520,000. 36 Bolivar Road in Salisbury North. The banks had an interest in seeing this one sell as well. Well, the tenant had moved out of the property, it wasn't earning an income. It made sense to take it to auction to take price out of the equation. The vendors at the peak of the boom had paid $250,000 for the residence, and unfortunately that was going to be very difficult to support as the tenants had unfortunately worn the property out, and whilst we were marketing the property, the pool had turned green, the lawns had gotten long, and the property just felt cold and tired. Really required a bit of refurbishment. So when we achieved $235,000 post-auction, only $15,000 short of what they paid in the peak of the boom, and by their admittance probably paid a little bit too much, we were ecstatic at that result, and that one just settled yesterday. So once again, although it didn't sell on the day, we didn't have a high attendance or registration of purchases. Shortly thereafter, we were dealing with buyers that were sitting around that 220, 230 figure. So once we achieved 235, it was really evident to the vendor that that was a great result and they didn't hesitate to accept it. The auction process isn't always about selling it on the day. And as many agents would realise, actuating sale under a cash and unconditional basis is often a bonus that the process provides, but shouldn't be the means to an end. This is a great example that after only 3.5 weeks on the market, this property is now priced to sell. Auctioned only last week, this property is a mortgagee sale as marketed by Alan Bickley at Rain and Horn in Salisbury. An excellent offering, neat, clean, modern, but unfortunately in an area that doesn't have great recognition. Direct is still one of those lost suburbs that many people don't know where it is, what it's close to. Now, I guess it's one of those circumstances where the vendor may have been inclined to price position this property in excess of that initially, in which case we could well find ourselves in a circumstance where this property would be sitting on the market now at $315,000, $330,000 and being ignored. Instead, it's price positioned just that 3 to 5% premium over and above villa homes that have been selling in the area, and as such should now attract great interest. And the agent, Alan Bickley, is reporting that since the auction, those people that have been subject to finance and subject to sale have now come out of the woodwork and is experiencing great inquiry. So once again, the auction didn't work in terms of getting the property sold under the hammer and on the day, but nonetheless has brought the process forward, and which means bringing settlement forward, bringing sales contracts forward and bringing commissions forward as well. Here we have 25 Pine Ridge Drive in Blackview. A property auction last week by Craig Armstrong on behalf of Robert Stell and the team there at First National at Gawler. People's Choice First National have been a tremendous supporter of our business, and I thank them for that support. And here was a great example of a property that no one expected to sell on the day. So why auction it? Quite simply, the vendor's expectations were such that it was very difficult for the agent to see that the vendor would be close to market value in the time frame that they needed to move on. So what better way in order to derive the correct feedback so that the vendor can make an educated, informed decision as to where to best position their property in order to achieve the result that they need to in order to move forward. Well, on the auction day, Unfortunately, not much by way of attendance, not much by way of interest. But now that the property is price positioned, we're finding that the inquiry has picked up. The agent's now in a strong position to be able to refer that interest and offers to the vendor, and they're certainly a lot closer to being sold now than if they hadn't engaged in the auction process to begin with. This one at 127 Beckman Rise at Creedmoor goes to auction on the 8th of September at 12 p.m. At this stage, the agent's reporting great inquiry, and of course the nature of that inquiry is typically, what do the vendors want? What do you think it's likely to achieve? Now, we've spent some time with Patrick and the team there at Remax Mawson Lakes so that they're able to address those questions and concerns in such a way that engages the buying public. So our hope and expectation through that process is that very shortly after the auction, should it not sell on the day, Patrick's got a handful of people that he can deal with, deliver offers and interest to the vendor, and even in that circumstance where there isn't offers necessarily on the table, he's certainly able to articulate very clearly to the vendor the price that they should be going to the market at directly after the auction, so as to engage that buying public and ensure that offers and interest aren't too far away. Here's another one in Creedmoor, number 26 Perry Drive. Now, this is a halo property for the suburb and one of those instantly recognisable properties. A great offering, but naturally a really hard one for the agent and the vendor to price. Quite simply, there aren't any comparable sales at this level in Creedmoor at this point in time. So Robert Stell and the team there at People's Choice First National have elected to engage the auction process in order to deliver to the vendor feedback in and around price, so that they're able to price a property at such a point that it's going to be engaging and enticing post-auction. So really here we're not necessarily expecting to sell it on the day, but we've set up the process so that the vendor has certainly got enough by way of feedback to have the price positioned so that a sale is pending not that far after the auction day. Thank you for joining us for our August auction update. We hope that the information that we've imparted to you today is of some assistance as you're going through the consideration process with your vendors. And naturally, it's that time of year when a lot of agents are thinking about how to position themselves into the warmer months, how to realign themselves with their marketplace, and how to engage with more buyers and potential vendors. Auction is a great method in order to do that, and naturally we feel that we have a role in assisting you throughout that process. As we're coming into the warmer months, you're going to be left with some of those properties that you've struggled to sell during winter. You want to reinvent those listings. You want to get them out into the marketplace once again, enlivened, freshened up, and ready to sell. You want your vendors to remain enthusiastic, especially when they've been on the market for some time. Now, converting a property to the auction method is a great way of doing that. And please check in with us, as we do have some specials when it does come to converting from private treaty to auction. We know that these vendors have probably spent most of their marketing budget already, and so the impost of high auction fees might be a limitation when it does come to engaging in the auction process. But with our specials on for this spring, we hope that that is one of those imposts that's removed and makes it easy for you to convert more properties to the method of choice for the most successful agents in the industry. Thank you very much, and on behalf of the whole team at Urban and Rural Auctioneers, I've been Dave Stockbridge, and happy selling.